On the night of her wedding, she kissed her husband goodnight and never woke up. The village said it was a curse. Her husband said it was destiny, but no one expected what happened next. 3 days later, they heard scratching inside her grave, and when they dug it up, she wasn't just breathing, she was rushing. And she remembered everything because he buried her, because he thought she would never rise. But she came back not just to live, but to make them all pay. It was the most beautiful wedding the village had ever seen. Grace, a humble girl from a poor home, finally married the love of her life, Derek, the wealthy merchant who had courted her for years. Everyone admired them, she in her glowing white gown, he in his fine black suit. They laughed, danced, kissed, and promised to grow old together. That night, Grace lay in bed smiling, waiting for her husband to join her. But instead of roses of romance, Derek walked in with a strange black box in his hand and coldness in his eyes. "I am sorry, Grace," he whispered, not meeting her gaze. Before she could ask why everything went black, the next morning, Derek wept in front of the villagers, claiming his wife had died in her sleep. Everyone mourned. Everyone believed him. After all, why would a husband lie about his bride on the night of their wedding? She was buried the same day, dressed in her wedding gown, her fingers still wearing the ring he gave her. But no one knew the truth. No one saw the 3 men in black robes who followed Derek into the forest that night. No one knew he had visited a secret shrine 3 weeks before the wedding. No one heard the deal he made. "Give me wealth, give me fame. Take her instead." He thought the ritual was complete. He thought she would remain silent in the earth. He thought burying her alive was the price he had to pay. But the spirits had their own plans. 2 nights later, strange things began to happen. Dogs barked endlessly at her grave. The ground near her tomb shook at midnight. And then, on the 3rd night, a child walking past the grave heard a sound, a frantic cry, a scratching, a whisper. "Help me! I am still here!" At first, they thought it was the wind, until more villagers came, until more people heard it. And by morning, the whole village had gathered at the grave. Derek stood, pale and frozen, sweat pouring down his face. Someone handed him a shovel. He hesitated. "Dig," the chief commanded. "She's calling." He dug. Each shovel of earth felt heavier than the last. And then, with one final scoop, the coffin was revealed, and it was shaking. Someone screamed. Someone fainted. He slowly opened the lid, and there she was, muddy, breathless, eyes wide open, alive. Her voice was hoarse, her lips cracked, but her eyes, they were on fire. She looked at her husband, the man she trusted, the man who betrayed her. She didn't speak a word. She didn't have to. Everyone felt it. Grace had returned, and she remembered everything. Grace didn't speak the day they pulled her from the grave. She just stood there, her wedding dress stained with mud, her fingers trembling, her eyes fixed on Derek, the man who buried her alive. The crowd parted in fear and silence as she limped out of the graveyard, barefoot, wounded but alive. She didn't need a stretcher. She didn't need help. It was as if something unseen was holding her up. The elders said it was a miracle. The women said it was grace. But the old prophet in the village square whispered, "No." She crossed into the spirit world, and something crossed back with her. That night, Derek couldn't sleep. He locked every door. He sealed every window, but nothing could block out her voice in his head. "You left me, and I watched you walk away. By midnight, the fire in his sitting room blew out on its own. He looked up and saw wet footprints leading from the door into his bedroom. He ran out. He screamed. He tried to tell the villagers she was haunting him, but Grace hadn't spoken to anyone, not even the chief, not even her mother, until the fourth day. She called for a village gathering at the same grave where she had been buried. She stood before everyone, still wearing the ripped wedding gown. But this time, her eyes glowed, not with tears, but with divine fire. And then she spoke. He promised me love, but gave me death. He traded my soul for coins. He fed me to spirits in exchange for status. But they spit me out because I was never his to sacrifice. The crowd gasped. Derek fell to his knees. Grace, please, he stammered. I didn't know it would work. I thought it was just a ritual. She walked towards him slowly, the ground shaking beneath her feet. And what will you trade now? She asked. Your breath or your blood? Suddenly, a storm gathered over them. Dark clouds, no rain, no wind, just a stillness that made even the birds silent. Then the prophet stepped forward with tears in his eyes. Child, what returned from that grave is not just grace, he said. The gods marked her. They want justice through her. Derek began to convulse. He screamed. His eyes rolled back. Everyone watched in horror. He wasn't being attacked by grace. He was being judged by the spirits he once summoned. And one by one, every man who took part in the burial, every man who helped in the ritual, began to fall to the ground. Some screamed, some vanished. One ran mad and stripped naked, shouting, "She's here! She's here!" But Grace stood still. She didn't raise her hand. She didn't touch a soul. Judgment was not in her hand. It was in her presence. And as Derek writhed on the ground, crying and begging, Grace turned and walked away, the same way she walked out of the grave. It's been 3 months since Grace walked out of that grave and out of Derek's life forever. No one has seen her since. Some say she moved to another village to start a new life. Others say she returned to the shrine that rejected her to thank the gods. But one old woman swears she saw her at midnight, praying in white under the moonlight, with her hands raised to heaven, not for revenge but for peace. Derek, his wealth disappeared. His mansion collapsed during a strange storm. He now roams from village to village, dirty, barefoot and forgotten, talking to shadows. He lost everything he sacrificed her for. Moral lessons. Never trade true love for temporary gain. Greed will always demand a higher price than you are ready to pay. Some people bury others thinking it's the end, not knowing graves can open and God can reverse the wicked plan. You don't have to fight your enemies. Sometimes just survive and your comeback will be the loudest judgment. Be careful what you offer to the dark, because not everything dies quietly. Thank you so much for watching this powerful and emotional story. If it touched your heart, made you cry or shocked you, please don't scroll away without subscribing. This channel is your home for true African folk tales, emotional stories, and spiritual lessons that will stay with you. Please hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and stay with us, because the next story will shake you even more. Drop a comment below. Tell us your favorite parts or what lessons you learned. Don't just watch and go. Stick with us. More fire-packed, soul-touching stories are coming. God bless you for being part of this family.